I'm going to show you how to set up your API. Now, what does that mean? When you generate a lead on your website, you want to take that lead and send it to your buyer. Now, the way I do it, I use a company called leadconduit.com, or their other name is Active Prospect. So I'll just pull up their site real quick. So this is their homepage. You can check it out. If you want to, this is who I use, so this is the only company I can show you how to set it up with. There's other companies out there. The concept is the same. It doesn't really matter who you use. All companies have support, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you with whatever questions you have, or if you want to get set up, you can probably pay them. Like I have paid this company to set up some campaigns for me because I just didn't want to do it. But I always believe that you should at least know how to do it, and then once you know how to do it, you can do it yourself, or of course pay someone else to do the actual work. But it is good to understand it and know what to do, so in case there's ever an emergency or something crazy happens, you're not relying on someone else. You can jump in and take care of it yourself. That's just me. That's how I am. I guess you can say I'm a control freak, but I want to know how to control my company every step of the way, just so I don't ever have to rely on anybody else. That's how I am. So, all right. So I use WordPress. If you don't use WordPress, I'm sure the concept is the same. Again, this is just how I set everything up. It works great. A lot of people say, oh, ClickFunnels and lead pages, and that's fine. They're great for landing pages. But if you want true customization, where you can do pretty much anything you want on your site, because you have to drive the traffic to your own site, you have to convert the traffic. There's a lot of cool things out there you can do with your website. And WordPress really just works great in my eyes because complete control, it's user friendly. There's plenty of negative things about it, of course, but you can say that about anything. But in terms of customization, when you're a lead generator, you want to be able to do what you want when you want. When you start using these other softwares that are enclosed and you really can't bring outside tools into them or third-party software, you kind of might get to a point where you're stuck and it's something you really want to do or create and you just can't do it. So this is what I do, and if you can do it this way, then this is just going to make your life a lot easier. So when you're logged into WordPress, here's your dashboard. The way that it works is this. You're going to want to set up your form. All right, now I'm assuming if you already went through the steps, you already have this website set up and you already have a form somehow before you even get to this point. But if you go to your forms, which is going to be, click on forms here, you have a lot of forms, as you can see. So let's just take this one form. At the top here, it says ID 9. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your dashboard, you're going to go to appearances, and you're going to go down to editor. Once you click on editor, all the way on the right side, under your theme, you're going to see functions.php. You're going to click on that. If it's the first time using this page, it might give you a warning saying, are you sure you want to edit this page or whatever. All right, so you see tops is PHP. See all this stuff here? This is all the WordPress stuff. Everything from here up. So I'm assuming that your page should look something like this. I'm assuming. I've never looked at every single WordPress functions page out there, but what you want to do is edit everything below this line, below this. So now this right here is a code that I use to send my stuff to Lead Conduit. So now I'll provide this code separately. I'll provide it in like a notepad file so you can download it and use it. But let me just go through this code. There's not really much to it, but let me just explain. So you see the add action, G form after submission. The number 9 is the ID of your form. So I'm going to go back here, right? Your form ID 9. That's that number, whatever your form is. This posted third party, this number 4 here, these two numbers need to be the same. That 4 and this 4 need to be the same number. It could be a 3, 2, 1, 15, 75,000, whatever you want, but it needs to be the same. The only reason why that number really matters is if you have multiple form codes on this page. So if I scroll down, you see another code right here. This is form 19, and this is the numbers 15 and 15. If this is 15 and this is 15, it's not going to work. But most likely in your case you only have one form, but just in case down the road you ever add one, just remember that because it will not work. This 10 and 2 just leave the same. I don't really know what they mean. That's just what they are. So now all this stuff, This line right here, what you need to change here, anything I don't talk about stays the same, just so you understand. Everything I don't even bring up stays exactly the same. So this whole code right here comes from Lead Conduit. Now you're going to have a campaign ID right here. That's your campaign ID. When you create your campaign in Lead Conduit, that's the number that you take from Lead Conduit. When you're in your account ID, this is your account with Lead Conduit, right? Everything after the equals and before the ampersand sign, that's going to be on each one. And then site ID is going to be the site, whatever site you set up in Lead Conduit. So those are the three pieces of code or three numbers you're going to get from Lead Conduit. And I'll go into that in a second. The rest of this here is the actual fields that are in your form. Now, if you only have two fields like name and email, that's fine. If you have first name, last name, email, phone, whatever, then whatever you have, you have. So now what's going to happen is this first one, IP address, you can leave this exactly the same. This should, I'm sorry. The part that you're going to change is going to be IP address, because whatever you call IP address. So you have to name this inside Lead Conduit. First name is going to come from your form. So if I go back to my form here and I click on this, see it says ID1 at the top, field ID1. This one is field ID2. This one field ID12. You're going to have to match those up. So now, first name is field ID4. Last name is 11. Email 22. Phone 9. Company name 7, right? Go down the list. So now if I go here, see first name 4 and last name 11. If I go down, first name 4, last name 11. Okay, it's just a number. So you put that number there and whatever it is. Now this number needs to equal what's in the form. This name, first name, has to now equal on the Lead Conduit side. All right, so that's where it knows on the other side where first name matches up. So when this code is talking to the other code on Lead Conduit, it's saying field ID 4 equals first name. And on a Lead Conduit side, it says, okay, first name equals Joe, right? Whatever the actual value is. And then it takes Joe and it sends it over to your buyer. So that's pretty much the way it works in very, very layman's terms. So this is how you have it set up. Now, the IP address, not everyone really cares about the IP address, but you can leave this exactly the same. And then this one, these fields, first name, last name, email, phone, company, whatever you want, that you can change to whatever you want it to be. All right? Whatever that is. And that's it. And then you go all the way down to this last bracket here. This is the code. But I'll put this in a notepad file so you can download it. So this is how you set it up on WordPress. This is it. This is all you have to do. Now, like I said, you have your forms. You create your forms. One thing I'll just throw in there, when you do an email field, see I had 2 emails because I actually screwed up the first time because I didn't know. Everything I do, I learned the first time. I have no one to teach me anything. So, but you see how this says email and email? So what's happening is, this one is administrative, so this one's actually hidden. This one is a live one. So this is the one I'm using. When you put an email field in your form in Gravity Forms, you want to make sure on the right side that you actually choose the email field. Don't choose single line text and just call it email. That's what I did. You want to use advanced fields, email, and use that one. 2 reasons. Number one, when someone inputs their information on a phone, it's going to be a better experience. Like it's going to bring up the keyboard with the @ symbol and stuff like that. It makes it easier for them to put in their email instead of having to switch, keyboard, pages on their phone and go to different pages and find the @ symbol, if you know what I mean. So it just makes it easier. Just trust me on that one. The other thing is that if you ever want to send your information to like an Aweber or a constant contact from Gravity Forms, so when someone fills out your form on Gravity Forms on WordPress on your website and you want to send in information to like an email marketing software like Aweber, you want to make sure that use the email field for that, because or else Aweber or Constant Contact, whoever, will not see it. It's a pain in the butt. I did it on like 15 websites and I did it wrong, and then I go back and redo it all again. So just so you understand, that's a little tidbit there. The rest of the stuff, you can have whatever fields you want. Doesn't really matter. In another video, I go over actually how to use all this stuff with gravity forms, but I'll throw that in there again for you. So that's it. That's really all you have to do. These names mean nothing, right? To you, to the computer, to gravity forms, to leak conduit. This name could say, you know, Chesapeake Bay. It doesn't matter, right? It's just whatever you tell it to be. It's going to be ID 4, field 4, and that's the value it's going to push. As long as this name is the same in WordPress, in the functions.php page, and it's the same on leak conduit side, that's all it needs. It needs to be the exact same name.